واستعينه واستهديه واستغفره وأؤمن به جل وعلا ولا أكفره وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولا كره المشركون. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. Allah commands justice, the doing of good, and liberality to kith and kin. He forbids all shameful deeds and injustice and rebellion. He instructs you that you may receive admonition. فَمَنْ يَرِيدِ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَهْدِيَهُ يَشْرَحْ صَدْرَهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ. Those whom Allah in His plan willing to guide, He opens their breasts to Islam. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. O you believe, fear Allah as He should be feared, and do not die except in the state of Islam. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ. And hold fast all together by the rope which Allah stretches out for you, and be not divided amongst yourselves, and remember with gratitude Allah's favor on you. Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nasi ta'muruna bil ma'rufi wa tanhauna 'anil munkar wa tu'minuna billah. You're the best peoples ever raised for mankind, enjoining what is right, forbidding what is wrong, and believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وأوثق الأمور كلمة التقوى وخير الملال ملة إبراهيم وخير السنن سنة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وأشرف الحديث ذكر الله وأحسن القصص هذا القرآن وخير الأمور أوزموها وشر الأمور محدثاتها وأحسن الهدي هدي الأنبياء وأشرف الموت قتل الشهداء وأما علامة دلالة بعد الهدى وخير الأعمال ما نفاء وخير الهادي ما إتباع وشر الأمة أما الكلام. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the most truthful of discourses is Kitabullah, or the book of Allah. The most trustworthy word is taqwa, or fear of Allah. The best of the community is the community of Prophet Ibrahim. The best way of life is the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The remembrance of Allah is the most glorious of all things. The best of all narrations is Quran. The best acts are those requiring the highest degree of will and determination. The worst acts are those based on innovation. The best way of life is the one adopted by the prophets of Allah. The most glorious death is the death of the martyr. The most wretched blindness consists of going astray after finding the right way. Best acts are the ones that yield benefits. Best guidance is that which people may be able to follow. The worst blindness is the blindness of the heart. وَقُولُ قَوْلِي هَذَا وَاسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهَ لِي وَلَكُمْ. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alif Lam Mim. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم. Of course, this is one of our favorite, forget that. Alif Lam Mim. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. So this is the beginning of Surah Baqarah, and of course it starts off with a statement that this is the book, in it is guidance sure without doubt for those who fear Allah. So for the Muslims, this is the confirmation of what we had before, when we asked, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, Sirat al-Ladina Namta alayhim, Ghayrul Maghdubi alayhim, Walad-Dallin, the whole surah, which is the oft-repeated surah. When it gets into this, now it's going to explain to you in exact terms what belief is. So first it starts off with ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. This, or some say, that is the book. This is the book. In it is hidayah, is guidance sure. La rayba fi hudan lil muttaqin. So this is a book that has guidance and there's no doubt in it. It's not like reading a storybook, or it's not like reading a history book. A history book, the greatest ones, they have to revise them sometime. They get some new computer-generated information, right? Or they dig deeper in the ground and find a civilization under the one that they was writing about in the second stage, and they go down deeper, and that clarifies something that wasn't in the history book before. So they're always revising, updating, and clarifying what is history. If it's a novel, you know that something is just a novel. Somebody wrote a story, and hopefully people will like it. But the Quran is different. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. But then it also has checks and balances. It says, the hadith says, the Quran says, travel in the earth and see what was the end of those before you. Travel in the earth that you gain knowledge. So, travel in the earth means not only travel, but also to study history. History is a guide. And remember here we use several phases. First of all, the Quran. This is what we stand on, without doubt. The Quran. In it is guidance and illuminations about peoples that lived before. It has a hidayah in it. That is a guidance. That means it's how to maneuver in the world in which we live and get to where you want to go. Where you want to go? To paradise, right? That's where we want to go. This is a book, and it is guidance. It directs you about how you get to paradise, and it gives you a model, like a demonstrator. You go to a showroom, at least they used to, maybe they still have it, and you want to buy a new Benz or something, okay? They have a demonstrator on the floor. They used to have, do they still have demonstrators? Now that demonstrator, you get to go on a test ride on that. You check it out on the hills, on the curves, and so you get a feel of what you're getting ready to buy one. And now you done made up your mind. So in the Quran, we have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have the book, the guidance, and we have a demonstrator. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? Remember, the one that made the human being is the one that's qualified to give you guidance, right? The one that makes the machinery, a Ford maker, you go in the car, it's got a little guidebook in there. Why? If Ford made it, they made a guideline. This is what type of oil you use, this is what you do with it, this is how you handle it, this is when you change the brakes, every so many miles, change the oil, right? It's giving you guidance because it made the car. It's tested the car, it's tried the car, so therefore it's the one qualified to give you, right, a guidebook on how to operate its operator's manual. The Quran is the operator's manual for the human being. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a demonstrator. So you not only get the guidebook, right, but you get a demonstrator with it. So this shows you, the Quran may tell you to pray, but it may not tell you exactly how to pray, right? How do you do that? You have a demonstrator, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allahu Akbar, right? And so you know how to pray. Why? Because the demonstrator showed you how to actualize the Quran. So therefore we have no excuse. So that's why the Quran is starting with ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. This is the book, in it is doubt, there's no doubt. لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. There's no doubt in the book. Okay, so that's why we have a Quran. That's why we have the Hadith, the second stage, right? Then we have history, to travel in the earth and see what was the end of those before you. So we have a reasonable idea that this is correct, 100%. You know why? We had a privilege to travel all around the world and see what was the end of those people before. What happened to them? What took them out? So you have a chance to now relate to it. So remember, you have the Quran, right? ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. It's guided sure, without doubt, to who? Yuqinun, those who believe. Right? And so, what do they believe in? الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. Bil-ghaibi, they might translate ghaib as hidden. I like, the best translation I like, when it talks about Allah, it says, that who is beyond the range of human perception. So, some people say ghaib, because ghaib means hidden, not perceptible. But Muhammad Assad, he does a good job, because he says that Allah is ghaib, but Allah is beyond the range of human perception. Allah, you cannot perceive Allah. So there ain't no sense of scrubbing your head and turning flips. You're not going to get Allah. Of course, you have Allah's characteristics, Allah's attributes, all around, Adim and Nur. You have all of those. Those are giving you an idea, right? But Allah is not limited. You can't limit Allah to those attributes, those characteristics. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is limited, unlimited. If you were to take all these 7 oceans, how many else they got, and you take these trees and turn them into pens, you could write up all of that and it wouldn't exhaust the reality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. Beyond the range of human perception. And so, ghaib is hidden too, but Allah is not hidden. You can see Allah's reflection in the whole creation. You can see Allah in the whole universe. However you look out in the universe, all those trillions and quadrillions of miles, and you see unity, harmony, discipline, and everything working in order. Suppose it was chaos out there. That would mean things would be bumping into each other. This planet would be bumping into each other and tearing up everything, right? And it would be unbelievable. You couldn't count on nothing. In fact, you wouldn't be here. Why? Because you couldn't count on mating with somebody and producing the same thing you mated with. But you can depend on, if a boy get together with a girl, a human being, they're going to have another boy or a girl, right? Another human being. You plant a tomato seed, you don't have to figure out, I wonder what's going to come up. Let's see, maybe a grapefruit tree might come up. Maybe lemons. No. If you planted, whatever you planted, it's either going to come up or it's not going to come up. But whatever comes up, it's going to be that which you planted. Right? And that gives our life, imagine if it was chaos out there in the universe. Imagine if the universe operated like America works right now. Chaos. Crackpots. Right? Everything going bad. Everything bumping into each other. Now see, the protection is universal, but it ain't, if you dumb and crazy, you can drive your car and crash into each other like they have them crash-in derbies and all that. So you can have a political system and it's at the end and it's crashing into each other, turning over and making flips, and everybody hanging all out the cars and getting run over. You fall out the car, then the other car run over you. It's chaos. The American political system is in chaos. Allah's universe is in harmony. It's in harmony with everything that happened before because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has pointed out those people that have certain actions, certain characteristics, don't worry about it, they're not going to be around long, right? And after a while, right, they're going to start acting funny. And all you got to do is continue to trust in your Lord, in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And those who believe in the revelation sent to thee, first, who believe in the unseen are steadfast in prayer and spend out of what we have provided for them. Risk the bounties of Allah. And the people that spend out of what Allah has given them, right? They're placing that wealth in the universal bank of Allah, and it's like sending it here. They say, you sending anything ahead with what you just got? That means you sending some of that money by giving it away, right? See, when me and you give away stuff, we think, oh, I have some friends in South Africa. They're the richest Muslims over there. And I always wondered about them when I first met them. Everywhere they go, they was just giving away and giving away. And the last time I was there, they had reached a new status. They was the super duper richest people in South Africa, but they was always giving, and they wasn't giving away $4 or $5 either, rands. They was building like one of the groups in South Africa, I was talking to the Imam, an African brother, and they were showing me a spot that the immigrants had just bought for them. And it was an old movie theater. Not an old, it was nice. All they had to do was put a floor leveler in there and level the floor out, and they had a movie theater as the Masjid. And it happened to be right on the Kippur. And I was telling them, well, now, they was worried about funding. I said, the people have already hooked you up. I said, I know they're going to hook you up for you to get by for a while, but I say, you take a couple of brothers and all those Masjid and Johannesburg and all that. I say, y'all just go get a few brothers and you go to Jum'ah. Every time you stand out there with a box, because we are the Palestinians, I would be there and I'd be speaking a lot. So, and I would say there's a box back there's a box over here for Palestine, da-da-da-da-da. So I say, y'all go around like that too. So that's what we do over there. They couldn't trust none of the other, but we give. I said, I'll send 2 or 3 together. It don't make no difference. All 3 of them, they couldn't trust each other, and they got a masjid. That movie theater was twice as big as this masjid, and this used to be a pretty good size. I said, man, so he was telling me, y'all are different than us. Talking about African Americans are different. I said, what do you mean we're different? Well, see, y'all kind of independent. I said, you just got your so-called freedom. You be independent too. And then I said, hey, I said, you see I said, this big masjid, I've been to all the other big masajid. Do you know that the immigrants have built in every black community over here a big, beautiful masjid? I mean, they got nice ones in they show, but they built the same. At that time, Soweto had $1 million masjid. Okay, that's 30 years ago, so that and I mean, it looked like it in Soweto. And the Negroes there didn't build it, nor did they build any other masjid. I say, you think somebody come and build, I say, hey man, in our community, every masjid in the community, we hooked that up. I said, it's natural. I said, but it seemed like y'all have got so addicted to people looking out for you that you expect them, not only the masjid, sometimes there's a school next to it, and the imam get a little stipend on the side. I said, the brothers don't get no, if he hustle, right, if the believers happen to hook him up, maybe, with a little subsistence, he gonna be all right. But other than that, you got to be swimming all the time. You can't tread no water over here, because you're going down, you know what I mean? You got to keep moving. And they didn't understand it. I said, well, take a couple of brothers. Y'all go out. Brothers. I said, well, take what they bring back. If they bring 5 rams, take it. If not, they got full pockets and, they'll be rich and they'll leave the masjid pretty soon. Maybe you keep turning over and you might hustle up on 2 or 3 good guys that help you out for a while. But they didn't get the picture about the risk comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The gift comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And many times, you may have to go out and get it. So we have Quran, we have the Sunnah, we have the general history, right? And this is the other point. For here is what we add on to it. If we followed what our brothers do, what do they say? They feel this disappointed or something, helpless, or I don't know, whatever stuff is. That's the way that I'm talking about the ones you see on TV and talking and jumping up and down. They feel bad about Islam and themselves, and they feel isolated. And I said, we don't feel that way. I said, we are isolated, though. I mean, we cut off from the place used to be full. I said, well, that don't have nothing to do with no Islam. And it definitely don't have nothing to do with how we feel. We're not changing the khutbah for them or nothing else. Why? Because we have a duty, we have a responsibility. We read the Quran and we see what it says. You know, fight those who fight against you. But after you done won, tie them up, get a little knot in the thing, and then sue for peace. But don't worry about treachery, because Allah got you covered. Okay, anyway. Those who believe in the revelation sent to thee and sent before thy time, in their hearts have the assurance of the hereafter. So we believe in the Quran, but we also believe that there was writing called the Torah, right? And the Injil. We actually believe they may not be in the same condition when they got here. If you read through the New Testament, it says, and Jesus said. The strongest part in the New Testament that they have now would be classified as the weakest of our hadith, because Paul is relating something he heard from or read in Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, right? And they said, Jesus said. But they don't list who said he said, right? Like our hadith. So there's no system. So the strongest they got would be equal to our weakest of hadith. Daif, super daif. The strongest part of the New Testament. And the Torah is a little stronger, you know. But then remember, some of the people might cover up, you know, with their hand what's being, according to who it is, rich people or poor people. If it's poor people, they leave their hand off and it said, stone them, throw them off a building, and they're going to get that. But if it's rich people, rich couple, where it says stoning, they might cover that up with their hand and read around it. You see what I mean? So, when it says, Dhalikal Kitabu, book, La Rayba Fi Hudan Lil-Muttaqin, that means this is the book. In it is guidance without doubt. There's no doubt in the book. There's no misrepresentation in the book. And everybody can read the same book. The only thing that's different in this Quran is these marks, Fatta, Kasra, Dhamma, you know, An, In, that stuff. The marks that you see are like reading music. Why? Because during the time of the Khulafai Rashidun, Zumar was traveling around. He was listening to people recite, and they wasn't reciting right. They was doing Arabic, but they added in no change in the words, but they added in the sound and the vowels. Because if you read an Arabic newspaper, it don't have no vowel sounds, right? You don't see them. Why? Because everybody knows where the vowel sounds go, except me and you. So when they teach Arabic, they also have another class. At UC Berkeley, they had one to teach how to read newspapers, right? Can you imagine? Okay. Those who believe in the unseen are steadfast in prayer and spend out of what we have provided for them. Who believe in the revelation sent to thee and before thy time, min qablikum. In their hearts are the assurance of the hereafter. They are on true guidance from their Lord, and they will be the process one, the muflihun. Falah, like hayal al-salah, hayal al-falah, right? Falah, success. They're the ones who will be successful. As to those who reject faith, it is the same to them whether I warn them or do not warn them, they will not believe. Allah has set a seal on their hearts and on their hearing, and on their eyes is a veil. Great is the chastisement they Khatam Allahu ala qulubihim, their hearts. Samihim wa ala absarihim gishawatun. Gishawa. A gishawa is a curtain. Or it's like a curtain that maybe when Arabic brother, speaking brother explained it to me years ago was, you know, where you have things that you can see through, like glass. They have other things like tinted glass or other things that will let light through, but you can't see outside of it. And he said that's kind of like gishawa. Light will come through, but you can't technically make out what's on the other side, although light can come through. And so over the people's heart, there's a gishawa. You know, information comes through, but it don't illuminate nothing. They don't get nothing done with it, right? Okay. Allah has set a seal over their hearts and hearing. Umyum, sumyum, bukmum. Deaf, dumb, and blind. Now, Allah didn't set a seal over their heart where they couldn't see and where they couldn't hear. You have to understand what Allah is saying, that their behavior is the one that set a seal or covered up their heart. The information came through, right? But they wouldn't use it, right? They wouldn't use it properly. And so therefore, that khatam, that lock, they put on their own heart. That seal, they put on their own heart. They blocked their own vision. So you could see forms and shapes, but you couldn't make nothing out. It was like a curtain, right? You can see light creeping in there, but you just can't look through it and see what's on the other side. So it says, Allah has set a seal on their hearing and on their eyes as a veil. Great is the chastisement that they incur. There's another, and this does pertains to us a lot. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana ba'da idh hadaytana wa hab lana min ladunka rahmatan innaka antal wahhab. So, our Lord, Rabbana, they say, let not our hearts deviate ba'da idh hadaytana, after we've been guided. Now that's especially for me and you. I'm telling you. We weren't born Muslim, most of us. We're asking Allah. I asked one of the good Arabic speakers, I said, man, give me a dua that really pertains to certain things. So this is the one, this famous dua, but I didn't know it. So, right? Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana ba'da idh hadaytana. So we're asking Allah on a regular, continuous basis, day in and day out, Let not our hearts deviate now after we've been guided. Suppose you jump up and you get misguided, or you allow yourself to go back into Jahiliyyah after having this beautiful way of life known as Islam. Right? It's a big deal. That's why we're asking Allah, oh Allah, you done gave us the best thing that we could have. Boy, we was in bad shape before. We had stuff that was so crazy we didn't even know how crazy it was. Student enrollment, number 1, 2. Number 2, who is the original man? The original man is the Asiatic black man. The maker, the owner, cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, and God of the universe. You know, them Negroes may not even go to hell. That's so crazy that Allah might say, hey, I'm al-Ghafuru Rahim. I'm going to just be merciful. I let them go. Because them niggas, what they saying? Who is the original man? Don't have nothing to do with God, but the original man is the Asiatic black man. Now, we used to kind of believe that. And then you get kind of dark, so it makes, yeah, that makes sense. The Asiatic black man. Who is he? The maker, the owner, cream of the planet Earth, and father of civilization, father of the universe. That's a bad Negro there. Hey, man. Well, that's what we was taught at that time. That's you know, shirk is to associate something with Allah, right? Set something like that. I don't even know what it is. It's insanity. Do you know, if you crazy, you're not held attention. You know, you're not held accountable. If you walking down the street, ooh, right? You don't have to fast. You don't have to do nothing because you're not accountable. If you believe that the Negro, we didn't have no industry, no toilet paper, no nothing. The niggas didn't make nothing. But he was cream of the planet Earth, the original man, cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, and God in the universe. Who's going to say anything? I mean, nobody would even answer that. Oh, yeah, good. And they keep walking. You ain't no God in the universe. Why you don't have no car? Why you don't have no house? If you staying in a house, it ain't yours. And you cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization. You know, there's about a zillion questions you could bring to the Negro, and he couldn't answer them. You know, but we had actual facts, so it made Negroes sound smart. You know, actual facts, you get them out of the doggone, not the dictionary, but the encyclopedia. The Pacific Ocean is 68 million square miles. The Atlantic Ocean is 41 million square miles. People listen to you, they think that nigga, he got it down. We memorized all those because a lot of Negroes couldn't read. So the lessons, you had to memorize them. You memorize the lessons, you could remember. So he get up and start running, and you think he was an apparatus or something. He just running. We may not be even held accountable. I don't know, because it's shirk. And if you're too stupid to practice shirk, hey, you like, right? He's not responsible. Because right? He ain't got enough sense to be responsible. If he's too old, he can't fast during Ramadan, he don't have to do nothing. Maybe feed somebody. He might forget as old as he is. That stuff that we was taught at that time, there's still a few people running around believing that type of thing. It's not recognized in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala don't, now let's find something that makes more sense. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum la ta'khudhuhu sinatun. Allah, there is no other God but Him, the living, the self-subsisting, supporter of all. No slumber can seize Him, nor sleep. His are all things in the heavens and on earth. Who is there can intercede in His presence except as He permitted? This is Ayatul Kursi, the of the throne. Again, you can get guided and you could have a relapse. Because I'm not talking about nobody, but you know who they are. Well, this ayat, so I gave a talk in the penitentiary not far from here, out Highway 68, whatever that is, in Maryland. So the guy, nice name. Who is Allah? I said, well, Allah is God, and let me give you food. Where's Allah? I said, well, just a minute now. Let's not get out of hand. Allah is on the throne, and the throne is over the water. That's what Ayatul Kursi is, right? So maybe he was talking about Zeus and Jupiter, you know, the big old Greek gods that had a big throne. And maybe he was visualizing, not power, not authority, right? Not that type of thing, but a big God sitting on a throne. Allah is on the throne and the stone is over the water. I said, well, I said, I'll tell you where Allah is. You want to be like that? I said, He is right here in my neck. Astaghfirullah. I said, just a minute now. The Quran says that Allah is closer to you than your jugular vein. Here He is right here. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. Get this man out of here. He didn't say that, but he was about to say it. I say, and then I say, you follow people that's kind of blind. I mentioned the guy they was following. He was a big sheikh in Saudi Arabia. He was blind. Astaghfirullah, that the man he know everything about, and he did it. I said, you follow the Quran? What does it say? Those who are blind in this world, where else will they be blind? In the next world. If Ben Baz is blind over here, he's going to be blind over there. I mean, we know better than that, but he talking trash, I'm going to just get right there with him. I'm not going to say, oh, I feel sorry for you. I say, you ain't got no sense, Mr. Negro. Here he is, his God right here. Astaghfirullah. I said, what? It's closer to you than your jugular vein. This is what the vein is, right? And the people you follow talking that, let's say they're blind. If they're blind here, they're going to be blind over there. According to what he said. We know that's not true, but when you're arguing with somebody that's crazy, you don't try to make sense. Why you be crazy than him, trying to not see 2 and 2 is 4, and that type of thing. He's crazy. He don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, that was the way it went. Of course, I didn't date. The white man took me off the penitentiary visiting this. It might have been for something else, but I can't go in nowhere for the last, I don't know when. But anyway, Allah, there is no God but He, the living, self-supporting of all. No slumber can seize Him, nor sleep. You know, you can't blame a 12-year-old. You know, every now and then in California, we would drive back to Arkansas. And so, you know, you go through Arizona, you go through. So on the way back, I said, Mama, did God create the world? This is a biblical rendition. And I'm 12. They thought it was brilliant. I said, did God create the earth and everything? And on the sixth day he rested? Yep. I said, well, God smoothed out Arkansas and all that, Oklahoma, you know, they're big, flat. They're not a lot of mountains. But Arizona, when you're on 40, when you're on 10, they got all the rocks. You ever see it, just rocks? Look like somebody just... I said, God got tired right here, because over there in California, he smoothed everything out. That's just to see a young nigga 12, I ain't responsible for. And that's with the Bible, you know, he's not responsible. I couldn't say that now. But God must have smoothed out Oklahoma and Arkansas, is smooth. And up here, all these rocks and everything. He got tired. That's when he rested. They got Negroes today thinking that Allah rested. The Quran, no slumber nor sleep. Allah don't get tired. Allah don't get no